So part 3, I mentioned Six Sigma uses the DMAIC process. We're going to dig into that in fairly good detail. It'd be really important to understand what DMAIC means and how we use it. So DMAIC, and I don't know if there's a pronunciation of that, I'm just going to say that, DMAIC. The first one is define phase. In the define phase, that's when we come together with a reason, a purpose. We look for something. We identify the goal. We set team leaders and membership. We might pull people from different departments. We set responsibilities, who's in charge of what. We put limits on resources, how much time, how much money. Again, we get responsibilities. A lot of brainstorming during the define phase. This is when all sorts of ideas come out. It's just starting. It's kind of chaotic. You could even call it storming. But this is where everything comes together in the ideas. After we get done the define phase, we go to the next part where we start to measure. Sorry. In the measure phase, we're looking at outcomes. We're looking at metrics, time, costs, distance, numbers of incidents, numbers of items, number of people, number of patients. We want to measure the problem first. And then we want to identify who's responsible for data collection, retrieval, and analysis. And we'll be documenting everything. Once we collect all that data, now we have to analyze it. The A of the DMAIC is analyze. We're going to analyze baseline data. We're going to look at gaps between performance and goals or outcomes. We're not going to blame people. And that's really important because when you start blaming people, people shut down. They're not going to participate. They're going to be very defensive. This is not about blame. This is about improvement. We're going to look at a flow diagram and determine where our best effort is to make improvements. And we're not going to just tackle everything. We're going to look at one area of improvement. And then we're going to move very quickly to the next phase, which is the improvement phase or the action phase. We're going to actually do our suggestions. We're going to do our improved actions result in our outcomes that we're going for. And is there really a problem? Or are there some sort of other issues? So that's the improved phase. And then in the C, in the control phase, that's when we standardize our new process. We're going to educate everybody. We're going to educate and make sure new employees are educated in this new improved process. We're going to break critical links to old ways. It may be moving materials to a different part of the unit as a way of breaking old habits. It may be bringing new employees in or moving people around. But in the control phase, we're going to try to consolidate and standardize and then get ready for the next DMAIC event when we try to do something else a little bit better. When we're trying to standardize processes, we're going to look at the current system. We're going to look at staffing and supplies, equipment, forms, computer systems. And talking about computer systems, Epic is major in the state. Many systems are switching to Epic, which does result in some standardizations. But every organization has a slightly different Epic, so it isn't totally uniform. But we're going to look at the established processes that are actually used, not what we say we're supposed to do, but what we really do. And we're going to have to come up with some rewards and punishments for using the processes and achieving outcomes. And by punishment, we're not talking like firing, but we want to try to find ways of encouraging positive outcomes. More than likely, a multidisciplinary approach will be best. So if we get more than just nurses, but if we get doctors and we get respiratory therapy and whatever we're looking at, anybody that might have an effect on the outcome, get them involved. We have to look at the Pareto principle where 20% of all problems, 20% of all factors create 80% of the problems. 20% of the patients results in 80% of the bills. So that the 20-80 principle. Standardization does not mean rigid implementation of arbitrary rules. Standardization is trying to have it so that everyone works approximately the same, so that I can go in to take care of a patient, or you can go and take care of the same patient, and they will receive standardized care for that patient. Now, evidence-based nursing is the process where clinical decisions are made on best available research, not necessarily clinical experience or patient preferences. But, I'm sorry, forget I said that. Evidence-based practice is when clinical decisions are made using the best research, clinical expertise, and patient preferences. Okay? Best available research, clinical expertise, and patient preferences. I'd go back and eliminate all that, but I don't want to re-record this whole segment. Sorry. Research utilization is a similar tool. Again, we're looking at research to tell us what's the best way to get the best outcome. Less than 20% of medical practice and even less of nursing practice is actually supported by solid evidence. Wow, that's an amazing statistic. And that brings us to the end of part 3.